Good morning, beautiful soul. As the sun rises, so does your spirit. This day is a brand new page in the book of your life, and you hold the pen. Breathe deeply. Feel the gentle rhythm of life flowing through you. You are alive, you are awake, and you are worthy of joy. Today, let happiness be your choice. Let it radiate from within, not because of what happens outside, but because you decide, right now, that happiness lives in you. Look into the mirror of your soul and say, I love you. I accept you. I honor you. Every cell in your body rejoices when you speak kindly to yourself. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are growing stronger, wiser, and more compassionate every day. Today you wake up not just to a new morning, but to a new mindset, one filled with peace, purpose, and power. You are the love you seek. You deserve to feel good. No matter what, you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are a divine expression of life itself. Choose to forgive. Choose to release. Choose to walk lightly through this day with a heart free from burden. Say it aloud. I let go of all fear. I let go of all tension. I allow happiness to flow to me and through me. The universe hears you, and it always responds with love. Imagine the day ahead unfolding perfectly for you. People smile at you. Opportunities meet you. You speak your truth with confidence and grace. You feel calm. You feel centered. You feel safe. This is your reality now. You attract harmony because you are in harmony with yourself. The more you love and approve of yourself, the more everything around you aligns to match that vibration. You are magnetic to miracles. No matter what challenges come your way today, know this: you are capable, you are grounded, you are resilient. Nothing is bigger than your inner peace. Choose to see everything through the lens of love. Even delays are divine. Even silence is sacred. You are being guided. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Speak this truth into your heart. I trust the process of life. I am exactly where I'm meant to be. And now take another deep breath. Let it fill your lungs and your spirit. Smile, right now. Smile because you're here. Smile because you matter. Smile because you are learning to rise with grace and shine with authenticity. This day is your gift. And you, dear one, are a gift to this world. Walk into your morning with self-love, carry your afternoon with peace, and end your day with gratitude. Wake up happy, stay happy, because it's who you truly are. Every morning, as your eyes slowly open to the light of a new day, you are gifted with the most powerful choice of all. The choice to be happy. It doesn't require a reason, a perfect situation, or even a peaceful past. Happiness isn't hiding somewhere in the distance, waiting to be discovered. It's right here, in this moment, in the decision you make the very second you wake up. The breath you take in the silence of early morning can be filled with peace or anxiety, depending on the thoughts you allow to take root. When you wake up and say to yourself, "Today, I choose joy," you set the entire rhythm of your day. You send a message to your body, your heart, and the universe that you are ready to receive beauty, no matter what form it arrives in. Your mindset is a magnet that draws the tone and energy of your day toward you. If you begin your morning scrolling through chaos or repeating yesterday's disappointments, your day naturally mirrors that turmoil. But if you instead close your eyes for a moment, place your hand on your heart, and whisper an intention for peace, your energy begins to shift. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing not to let imperfections steal your light. When you anchor yourself in joy before the world begins to ask anything of you, you reclaim your power. You become the creator of your emotional experience, not the victim of your circumstances. That is true strength. We often chase happiness like it's a destination we haven't reached yet. We believe it lies in a promotion, a relationship, a certain weight, or an amount of money. But happiness isn't a prize, it's a practice. You can't wait until everything is perfect to feel good, because life will never be without contrast. There will always be something undone, something missing, something yet to be resolved. But there is always something to be grateful for. And gratitude is the door to happiness. When you decide each morning to notice the good, to say thank you for the little things, the sun filtering through your window, the warmth of your coffee, the stillness before the rush, you are already living in joy. Choosing happiness doesn't mean ignoring your pain. It means holding space for it while still making room for hope. There is a quiet courage in saying, even though I'm healing, I can smile. It's not denial, it's resilience. When you choose happiness at the start of the day, you're telling your nervous system, your emotions, and your inner child that they are safe, that they are seen, that they don't need to wait for the world to be okay before they can feel okay. You become your own source of stability, and that's a form of love that runs deeper than anything external ever could. Happiness chosen in the morning creates a ripple effect that carries through everything. It affects how you speak, how you treat others, how you handle stress, and how you interpret events. Even the smallest things, compliment, a delay, a problem, are filtered through the lens you chose at sunrise. When you begin with happiness, you respond instead of react. You pause instead of panic. You breathe instead of break. This power doesn't come from being lucky. It comes from being intentional. And every day gives you another chance to build that inner strength through the practice of mindful joy. So when you rise each morning, before the world makes demands of your time and energy, return to yourself. Return to the silence of your soul and remind yourself, I get to choose how I feel today. Say it with conviction. Let your smile be your declaration. Let your spirit lead, not your fears. You are not searching for happiness, you are becoming it. And the more you choose it, the more it becomes your natural state. Life begins to bend in your favor when you align with joy first thing in the morning, and the entire universe responds to that energy. Loving and approving of yourself is not vanity. It is sanity. In a world that constantly tells you to be someone else, to change, to shrink, or to compare, the most powerful act of rebellion is to stand tall in self-acceptance. When you wake up and affirm, I love and approve of myself, you create a sacred space within where your worth is no longer questioned. This inner approval becomes your emotional backbone. You no longer beg for permission to be enough, because you've already granted it to yourself. This is where true peace begins, not in changing the outside world, but in softening the war within. There is something profoundly healing about embracing yourself exactly as you are, flaws and all. The moment you stop waiting to be fixed and start loving what already exists within you, transformation begins. You become less reactive and more reflective. The noise of external judgment quiets when your internal voice becomes gentle and supportive. Instead of criticizing your body, your past, or your choices, you offer compassion. This inner shift doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you grow from a place of love instead of lack. And love is a far more powerful motivator than fear will ever be. When you approve of yourself, your energy changes. You walk into rooms differently. You speak to others more kindly because you're no longer projecting your pain. You start setting boundaries that honor your well-being, not out of guilt, but out of deep respect for your spirit. You don't chase relationships that drain you or achievements that cost you your peace. Instead, you begin to attract experiences and people that mirror the love you give yourself. Your self-approval becomes a magnet for better, not because the world changes, but because your energy does. And everything begins to respond to that. So many people live in constant self-rejection, believing they must earn love or hustle for worth. But you were never meant to prove yourself. You were meant to know yourself. That knowing comes with gentleness, with pausing long enough to say, I am enough, just as I am. This isn't arrogance. This is the kind of radical acceptance that heals wounds buried deep in childhood, that silences the inner critic, and allows peace to flow freely through your mind and heart. It's the soft exhale that comes when you stop fighting yourself. It's the calm that comes from being your own ally. When you truly love and approve of yourself, your inner world becomes a safe home. And that inner safety is what allows you to take risks, to speak your truth, to try again after failure. You no longer need perfection to feel valuable. You can love yourself while being in process, while still learning, while still healing. You realize that you are worthy of your own kindness, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. That foundation becomes unshakable. It's the steady place you return to, no matter what the world throws at you. This kind of self-love is not a destination. It's a daily choice, a soft whisper each morning, a gentle reminder in the mirror, a loving pause before self-criticism takes over. And over time, it becomes your new normal. Peace doesn't come from external validation. It blooms from the moment you look at yourself and say, I see you, I love you, and I'm proud of how far you've come. That voice becomes your inner anchor, and with it, life becomes lighter, more manageable, and deeply, beautifully yours. I let go of fear and welcome joy into my heart today. These words are not just affirmations. They are a conscious choice, a declaration of inner revolution. Fear is a shadow that lives in the mind, fed by past wounds, imagined futures, and the false belief that we are not safe. But every time we choose to let it go, we invite a profound shift in our reality. When you speak this affirmation aloud, you are not pretending the fear doesn't exist. You are saying it no longer controls you. You are choosing to stand in your own power, no longer held hostage by thoughts that whisper doubt, failure, or danger. You are claiming the right to experience life fully and joyfully. There is a lightness that enters your being the moment you decide that fear no longer defines your actions. It's as if 1,000 invisible chains fall away. So much of our pain comes not from the things that happen to us, but from the stories we carry long after they've ended. We rehearse our fears, play out worst-case scenarios, and let our past dictate our worth. But when you release those stories, you make space for something beautiful to rise. Peace, ease, joy. It's like opening a window in a stuffy room and letting fresh air pour in. You begin to breathe differently. You begin to feel more like yourself. Fear tightens your chest, narrows your vision, and convinces you to play small. But joy expands everything. It stretches your heart wide open, brightens your perspective, and reminds you of all the good that is still possible. And the best part is, joy doesn't wait for the perfect circumstances. It arrives when you make room for it. Every moment you choose trust over worry, love over resistance, joy quietly slips in. You begin to smile at the little things again, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of your laughter, the presence of your own breath. You remember that life is a gift, not a burden. Letting go of fear doesn't mean it never comes back. It means you no longer feed it. You see it when it arrives, acknowledge its message, and then release it with grace. You don't need to fight it. You just stop identifying with it. Fear may knock, but you no longer let it in to rearrange your soul. In its place, you build a sanctuary of trust. Trust in yourself, in life, and in something greater. You begin to recognize fear for what it really is, a learned response, not a life sentence. And every time you choose joy instead, you rewire your inner world to reflect that truth. There's a sacredness in choosing joy, especially when it feels like the world is asking you to panic, to stress, to fear. Choosing joy in difficult moments is an act of defiance, a radical reclaiming of your own energy. It says, I decide how I feel. I decide how I live. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Joy doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means you've learned to find beauty within the imperfections. You've learned that your spirit doesn't have to shrink to survive. In fact, it grows stronger every time you meet your fear with compassion and let it pass like a cloud across your sky. Today, as you go through your moments, big or small, whisper this to yourself often. I let go of fear and welcome joy into my heart today. Say it when your thoughts start to spiral. Say it when you feel the tension in your shoulders. Say it when your heart aches or your path feels uncertain. Each time you do, you're reminding yourself that joy is not a reward. It is a practice, a presence, a choice. And every time you choose it, no matter how softly, you reclaim a piece of your power, your peace, and your truth. Life supports me in every way. I am safe, guided, and loved. These words carry the weight of reassurance and the lightness of surrender. When you believe that life is on your side, even in moments of stillness or struggle, something inside of you begins to soften. You no longer feel the need to control everything or prove your worth. You breathe a little easier. You stop chasing, forcing, and overthinking. Instead, you allow yourself to be held by the gentle current of divine timing. This belief doesn't come from ignoring reality. It comes from seeing the bigger picture, the one that reminds you that you are never alone on your path. It's easy to feel forgotten when plans fall apart or doors close without explanation. But behind every no is often a bigger yes waiting to be revealed. When you affirm that life supports you, you begin to trust those delays and redirections. You start seeing detours not as setbacks, but as sacred reroutes. Your vision expands. You understand that not everything will make sense in the moment, but in time, all the pieces will fall beautifully into place. The more you trust the journey, the more peace you'll feel within. Life doesn't just happen to you, it unfolds for you, and every twist is part of your personal masterpiece. There is an unseen grace guiding you even now. You might not hear it or touch it, but you feel it. In the synchronicities, the sudden inspiration, the unexpected help. When you look back, you'll notice how often you were protected, redirected, and carried through situations you thought would break you. That's life, working silently and steadily in your favor. You are not walking blind, you are being led by wisdom far greater than logic. The signs, the nudges, the inner whispers, they are not coincidences. They are the language of a loving universe, reminding you that you're right where you need to be. Feeling safe in this world isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about knowing you'll be okay no matter what. When you believe you are supported by life, your anxiety starts to dissolve. You no longer wake up with dread. You stop bracing for impact. Instead, you rise with trust. You move through your day with quiet confidence, knowing that even if things go wrong, you have the inner strength and the universal support to get through. This mindset creates calm in chaos. It allows you to feel anchored while everything around you shifts. That kind of emotional stability is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. You are loved more than you know. Life loves you not for what you achieve, but for who you are at your core. That love is not conditional. It doesn't disappear when you make mistakes or feel lost. It wraps around you like a warm blanket, especially in moments when you forget your own worth. When you open your heart to receive that love, miracles begin to show up in everyday places. A kind word, a solution, a moment of stillness that brings unexpected clarity. Love is the undercurrent of everything. And the more you believe you are loved by life itself, the more deeply you will begin to love yourself. When you live with the belief that you are supported, safe, guided, and loved, your energy becomes magnetic. You start attracting aligned people, opportunities, and experiences. Not because you're lucky, but because you're in harmony with the truth of who you are. You stop searching for validation outside of yourself and start living with intention and grace. Every step you take is infused with quiet power. You are no longer surviving, you are thriving, because you know that life is not your enemy. It is your partner. It is your teacher. It is your greatest supporter, cheering you on as you grow, heal, and rise. I radiate happiness, and the world reflects it back to me. This is more than a feel-good phrase. It's a universal truth wrapped in self-awareness. The energy you carry becomes the filter through which you experience life. When you consciously choose happiness, not the fleeting kind based on circumstances, but the deep, steady glow that arises from within, you shift everything around you. People are drawn to your light. Opportunities seem to flow with greater ease. The world begins to mirror the joy you've cultivated inside, not because it suddenly changes, but because you have. When your soul shines, it becomes impossible for the universe not to notice. Your energy introduces you before you say a single word. Long before your goals are met, before your dreams are realized, the way you show up in the world already begins shaping your reality. When you walk through life with a genuine smile, when your heart is open and grateful, your vibration rises, and others feel it. It's not about pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing to stay connected to joy even when life is imperfect. Happiness isn't always loud or extravagant. Often it's a quiet contentment, a presence, a peacefulness in your spirit that says, I am enough. This moment is enough. When your happiness is rooted in self-awareness and inner alignment, external situations start to respond differently. The conversations you have shift. The energy in the room lifts. You begin attracting people who reflect your light rather than dim it. Even challenges become more manageable, not because they disappear, but because your mindset empowers you to handle them with grace. The world becomes less of a battlefield and more of a mirror. If you wake up with a heart full of joy, gratitude, and purpose, you start to notice how life gently nods back in agreement. Through small kindnesses, unexpected blessings, and moments of perfect timing. True happiness isn't about escaping pain or avoiding discomfort. It's about being so grounded in your own light that you can face anything and still remain whole. When you choose to radiate happiness, you are choosing to take responsibility for your emotional energy. You're saying, I don't wait for life to be perfect. I bring my own sunshine. This inner glow isn't dependent on praise, approval, or success. It's a self-sustaining force born from clarity, self-love, and emotional freedom. You become a living affirmation. Your presence itself becomes a healing, uplifting vibration that makes others feel safe and inspired. There's something magnetic about a person who radiates genuine happiness. It's not the fake cheerfulness that tries to hide pain, but the authentic joy of someone who has learned to dance through storms. That kind of energy can't be faked, and it's unforgettable. When you live in alignment with your joy, you start creating a ripple effect. Your laughter encourages others to laugh. Your peace gives others permission to slow down. Your light reminds others of their own. You're not just existing, you're shining. And when you shine, the world doesn't just notice, it responds in kind. Light attracts light, and happiness becomes a shared language. Every thought you think, every word you speak, and every emotion you hold adds to your energetic field. That energy speaks louder than appearance or status. When your inner world is filled with love, happiness, and calm, you create a reality that reflects those exact things. It all begins with a choice to radiate joy, even on the days it feels hard, to protect your peace, to nourish your spirit, and to remember that the more happiness you pour into yourself, the more the world will rise to meet it. You are not separate from your reality. You are the author of it. And when happiness becomes your frequency, life tunes in and plays a sweeter song. Each morning is a fresh start, and I am grateful for the chance to begin again. These words are not just comforting, they are empowering. Every sunrise brings with it the quiet promise of possibility, the gentle invitation to leave behind what no longer serves you. Yesterday's mistakes, disappointments, and doubts do not define you today. You are not bound to the version of yourself that existed even a moment ago. You are allowed to evolve, to shift, to let go, and to rise. With each new day, life hands you a blank canvas. And no matter how messy yesterday's strokes were, you get to paint something beautiful again, with fresh colors, brighter light, and renewed hope. There is deep beauty in knowing that life is made up of moments that reset. You're never stuck, never permanently broken. The sun doesn't judge you for what you did the day before. It simply rises steady and warm, inviting you to do the same. This perspective gives you power. It frees you from the heavy weight of guilt or regret. It teaches you that healing is not linear and that growth isn't always loud. Some of the most powerful beginnings happen in silence, in the still breath before the world fully awakens. In that breath, you are free to realign with your purpose and recommit to your peace. Gratitude is what transforms this new beginning into something sacred. When you wake up and say, "Thank you for another chance," you're not only honoring life, you're honoring yourself. You're acknowledging your resilience, your willingness to try again, your courage to keep showing up. Even if your steps feel small or uncertain, they matter. Starting over doesn't mean you failed. It means you're still growing, still choosing love over fear, still holding space for your highest self to unfold. Gratitude anchors you in the present moment and turns even the most ordinary day into a gift. A fresh start doesn't require a perfect plan or a big breakthrough. Sometimes it simply means choosing to think a kinder thought, speak with more compassion, or approach the day with curiosity instead of control. It means letting go of the pressure to have it all figured out, and instead trusting that each little step carries you forward. When you begin your morning with intention, with a deep breath, a soft smile, and a clear affirmation, you set the tone for everything that follows. You train your mind to look for the good, to expect alignment, to trust that the universe is working with you, not against you. The past can only haunt you if you carry it into the present, and the future only causes fear when you disconnect from the power of now. But each morning is a sacred return to the present, a place where all your strength, clarity, and joy lives. When you ground yourself in this space, you move through life with grace. You stop rushing and start receiving. You remember that your worth isn't tied to yesterday's productivity or tomorrow's outcome. It lives in your presence, your breath, your being. And when you show up with that awareness, everything around you begins to soften and shift. So as you rise each day, remind yourself that you are not here to repeat history. You are here to create something new, something lighter, something aligned. Don't let yesterday's story hold today hostage. You are allowed to rewrite the narrative. You are allowed to start again as many times as it takes. Each morning is not a continuation, it's a rebirth. And when you meet that truth with gratitude, you tap into a well of strength, clarity, and calm that lives inside of you. You become unstoppable, not because everything is perfect, but because you have chosen to begin again, with purpose, peace, and unwavering positivity. Each morning brings with it a sacred opportunity, a chance to choose joy, release fear, embrace self-love, and walk in alignment with peace. You are not bound by your past, nor limited by your doubts. You are free to start again, to speak to yourself with kindness, and to meet the world with a radiant heart. When you affirm, I let go, I choose happiness. I am supported, I begin again. You step into your true power. Life reflects the energy you carry, and when you rise with gratitude and intention, the universe rises to meet you. So wake up each day knowing that you are worthy of a life filled with love, purpose, and inner peace, and that your happiness begins the moment you choose it.